So if you're not already there, come on down to your mat. We're going to start in child's pose today. Reaching your arms out in front of you, letting your head release down. You could do this, technically speaking, knees together is child's pose and knees apart, but feet still together is resting warrior. They do different things. Resting warrior extends your spine in a long straight line. Child's pose rounds it over. Sometimes we want one over the other, but right now it's just whatever is comfortable for you. I sometimes like to do a practice where we start in child's pose and we will end in the fetal position, and I sort of think of it as like a life cycle. So you are being born right now onto your mat. So just begin thinking about your breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose, filling your back body, expanding the ribs, breathing in relaxation, breathing in energy, and exhaling anything that is no longer serving you. Exhaling stress, exhaling tension. All of you who are on technically have a day off today, so I hope that you took some time for yourself. You're taking this time now, so that's a good thing. It's important, especially in times like this, to make sure that we're taking time for ourselves this hour, just to commit to you. Your literal only job right now for the next hour is to breathe. That's all you have to do. Just breathe. And if you can, leave all of your thoughts and worries off the mat. If you can, just give yourself over, dedicate this time to your practice. And reach those hands out in front of you, coming to just a puppy posture from here, so the toes curl under. Stretch those hands out. Let your head drop down to the mat, stretching, 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 taking a deep breath. So you're pressing your hips back towards your heels, but they're of course not making it. And then bring your hands just a little bit closer. We're going to go right into it today. So we're going to go straight to down dog. So just press up, lifting your knees off the mat, and then pushing those hips up. Hands walking out in front of you, rolling the shoulders down and back, and go ahead and just jog through here, bending one knee and bending the other knee, stretching opposite heels down to the floor. Good, and flatten that out into plank. Taking a breath, inhaling, exhaling, pressing back, downward facing dog. Inhaling back to plank, exhaling, down dog. One more time out to plank, holding here for a moment, and then dropping down to the knees and lowering all the way down to the floor. Inhaling, pressing up into cobra. So your shoulders are down and back, elbows are down and back, contracting the glutes, and your cobra can be much lower. It can be anywhere, just lifting your chin and your little bit of your chest where you can lift up higher, but we're keeping our hips on the mat. Good, release out of that, sliding your hands back, pushing yourself up and back. Once again, down dog, extending your right leg high overhead, swinging that leg through, planting it down, pressing up, finding warrior one. So front knee is bent, back foot is on the mat, both hips are straight. Both hips are straight, are facing forward, not straight. You can extend your arms, pull that left hip forward so that they're both pointing straight ahead, and your front knee is not passing out over your ankle. We're going to be returning to warrior one a lot today. Pressing into that back pinky toe, taking an inhale, transitioning to warrior two. Opening out that knee, knee over ankle, pulling the shoulder blades together, and we're gazing out over our fingertips. We're going to float through between our side angle bend and our reverse warrior. So coming to side angle bend, arm on the thigh, reaching up and back, reversing your warrior. Nice and gentle, just warming up the spine, warming up the body here, and reverse. Last time, and reverse. Good, pivoting back to the front of the mat, coming down to a lunge, hands find the mat, left hand in the mat, turning and twisting to the right, extending the right arm all the way up. Reaching towards the ceiling, pressing back through that back heel, placing the hand on the mat, stepping the foot back, coming back to plank, dropping all the way down to the mat, chest, chin, and hips. Coming up to Superwoman or Superman, arms extend out in front of us, lifting up through the chest, and if you want, lifting the legs up as well. Contracting the gluteal muscles. You could bring arms by your side if you prefer, pointing back if you prefer. Most intense is going to be extending forward. And releasing that down, hands come back by the shoulders, push up and back. Down dog, and then separate your feet, mats distance apart. Release your left hand and grab hold of your right calf, ankle or shin or thigh, but just not your knee. And then turning and looking past your right armpit. Taking a deep breath here. In your down dog twist. And place that hand back down. Walk your feet back into the center. Extend the right leg overhead. We're going to come right knee to right elbow. So you're going to hinge forward, knee to elbow, and come back up. Hinge forward again, knee to elbow, and come back up. Last time, this time planting that right foot down, pivoting the back foot to that same warrior one type position. And then walk the hands out. This is like a hybrid between a warrior and a down dog. So you're reaching your hands outside the mat, way off to the left side of the mat. Right foot to the front of the mat, left foot at the back. And you release down into this. Taking a deep breath here. So you're kind of pushing your right knee away, opening through the hip, lengthening the spine. Good, and then walk that back. Step the right foot all the way back, push straight up to downward facing dog. Left leg comes up, swings forward, plants down, find your warrior one on this side. Right foot is planted, hips are forward, arms are extending, bending the knee, opening the chest towards the sky a little bit. Taking a deep breath. Transitioning this to your warrior two. So opening up through the right hip, pull the shoulder blades together, gazing out over the left hand. Inhaling and exhaling. And then floating through, coming to our side angle bend. Up and back, reversing the warrior. Side angle bend. And reverse warrior. And last time, side angle bend, reversing that warrior, coming back to warrior two, and then pivoting down to the mat, hands find the mat, right hand on the mat, twisting to the left, left arm extends up, looking to the sky, taking a deep breath. Good, hands find the mat. Step the left foot back, coming to plank. Now your option. You can stay on toes, you can come to knees, you can lower all the way down to the mat and then lift up to cobra, or you can chaturanga to your upward facing dog. Stepping, or coming back, downward facing dog. Shoulders down and back. Left leg extends, coming left elbow, left knee to left elbow. Hinging forward, exhale. Inhale to kick back up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, back up. Last time, planting that foot down. Planting the right foot down, so it's in a warrior position, and then reaching your hands off to the right into that hybrid of the down dog warrior position. Pushing out through the left knee, opening up that hip. Taking a breath here. Feeling some length in the back, some opening the hips, opening in the inner thighs. And come back. Step that foot straight back, come to down dog, separate the feet, reach the right hand back towards the left ankle or left calf, doing your down dog twist on this side. Looking past your armpit, breathing into the twist. And place that hand down, stepping the feet back together, rolling the shoulders down and away from the ears. Bend the knees and then straighten the legs. Again, bend the knees, coming to the balls of your feet, straightening the legs. One last time, bending the knees, straightening the legs. And now you can bend your knees and either step, hop, or float to the top of the mat. Tara, that was for you. And release, forward fold. Let your head hang down. You can grab opposite elbows here if you'd like. Let your head just kind of shake no. Nod your head yes. Bobble your head maybe. Rounding your spine, letting your knees bend, and then roll yourself all the way up. Deep inhalation, extending arms up overhead. I realize you can't see me, I'm cut off, sorry about that. My arms aren't doing anything. Stretch up on tiptoes. Taking a deep breath. Lower the heels down on the mat. We're going to bend. So letting the left arm drop by your side, hinging over to that side. That's a little bit better. Now I'm just decapitated. And pressing up and over to the other side. And pressing up, deep inhale. And exhale, hands to heart center. Good, pausing for a moment. Take a deep breath. All right, so we're gonna do more warriors, sort of similar to how we started. So we're gonna inhale, we're gonna integrate some balance here. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, hands find the mat, stepping the right foot back, or you can hop, followed by the left. Chaturanga, or all the way down to the mat. Inhale up to your cobra, or up dog with hips off. Exhale, pressing back to down dog. Right leg extends, 3 hinges forward. Hinge forward, out over the hands, pause for a moment, challenge yourself, kick that leg back up. And again, exhale to come forward. Inhale to come up. This time come forward and hover. Press through your hands. Imagine there's like a fire under you. You're trying to lift your leg away. Arch your back up. Press, 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 press. And then step that right foot down. Pivot the back foot, rising up. Warrior 1. Virabhadrasana 1. Holding here for a couple of breaths. Again, finding that hip rotation. So technically the warriors are hip openers. Right now, our left hip is pulling forward, which it wants, usually, to drift back. So we have to ask it to come forward, which often means we don't have quite as deep a bend in our front knee. Not everybody, but if you have any tightness in your hips, like I do, they tend to not be as deep. Transitioning this, warrior 2, pulling the shoulder blades together. Now we're opening up that hip. It's an external rotation of our left hip. Pausing here. Coming down and holding side angle, so right arm across the thigh, left arm reaching up and over. I'm going to give you options later to go much deeper into your side angle bend. What's important is that you maintain this, right? So our shoulders are stacked, chest is forward, it's like you're against a wall. So if you want to go deeper later, you can do that, but what we don't want to do is start rounding and arching over, okay? So feel this in your body right now. Arm can reach overhead or straight up. And remember it for later. We're going to pivot this into a power warrior or power lunge. So we're hinging forward. Our back heel now comes off the mat. Arms extend out in front of you. We're hinging forward, but we're not resting on our thigh. Our thigh is actually working really hard here, but knee is still not tracking out over our toes. We're going to bring this into a warrior 3. So we lift that back leg up. We can be up high in our warrior 3, or we can work our way down to be parallel to the floor. Pushing back through that back heel. You can change the arms. They can come out to your side or down by your side if it's too much to have them up overhead here. Bring yourself up to a standing position. Bring this left knee up, holding it into your body. Take a breath here. We're going to do 3 kicks. We're going to extend the leg. I shouldn't really say kick. And pull it back in because it's controlled. Extend the leg and pull it back in. The last time, extend the leg, hold it, hold it, hold it. Backing up so you can see my leg. Good, and release it down. Inhale, extend up. Exhale, release forward. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. This time stepping left foot back or hopping, chaturanga or all the way to the mat. Up dog or cobra, shoulders always down and back. Exhale, pressing back to down dog. If you're going into up dog, make sure you're not locking your elbows. Little tiny soft bend in your elbows to protect both your elbows and your shoulders. And left leg extends up, hinging forward on the exhale. Inhale to kick up. Exhale. Inhale to kick up. Exhale, hinge forward and hold it, pressing away, lifting, 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 lifting up. Your arms, my arms are shaking here. Like, this is a hard posture. You're working. And then place that left foot down, finding warrior 1 on the side. Remember, arms are always extra credit. So they can be at your heart, they can be on your hips, they can extend. You decide what works best for you. The deeper the bend, the more challenging, but make sure you're still pulling that back hip forward so your headlights are forward. And transition warrior 2. Now opening that right hip, external rotation. The warrior postures are set to build confidence. They're very strong postures. You're working super hard, right? In this position, my arms are working, my glutes are working, my thighs are working, but yet they're not super difficult postures, right? Anyone can get into a version of warrior. So you're lifted, you're lifting through your spine, you're focused. So you should feel strong, you should feel powerful, you should feel confident in these poses. Side angle bend, so that left arm comes to the thigh, right arm either shoots straight up or overhead. Nice deep bend in this front knee. Staying nice and open. More or less, as you can see, a straight line with my spine. No curving and rounding here. Take a couple of breaths. Good, release that, coming into your power lunge, so your right toes pivot forward, arms extend, nice deep bend in the knee, hinging forward, and when you're ready, launching up into your warrior 3, pushing that right heel away, reaching the arms forward, belly button pulls in, holding and breathing. Balance is a lot about focus. It's physical, but it's very much about focus. Bringing this to a standing position, bringing the knee in towards the chest, finding a point to focus on, and extending that leg into it and pulling it back. Extending the leg, pulling it back. Last time, extend, see if you can hold, 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 hold. And release it down. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Hang here for a moment, rounding the back, letting the knees drop, taking a break for a second. Bend the knees and roll yourself all the way up. Inhale, a little bit of a back bend here, contracting the gluteal muscles, pushing the hips forward, open the chest towards the sky, and coming hands to heart center. Okay, this time around, as promised, we're going to go into this deeper side angle if you want. I'm going to show you a pose from that is a very challenging balancing pose, but if it is too much for you, your alternative will be to do tree, okay? So when we move into it, tree posture is here, Vrksasana. So we'll give you the option to go into Vrksasana rather than, the name is completely escaping me. When we get to it, maybe I'll remember the name, rather than this more advanced posture. I don't know why I can't remember the name of this posture. Anyway, focus, right? Come back to the top of the mat. Inhale, exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, extending the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, hands find the mat, hopping or stepping, right foot followed by left. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, rising all the way up. Exhale, pressing back, downward facing dog. Heels towards the mat, shoulders rolling down and back. Bird of paradise, everyone. That's the option I'm going to give you. Wow. And right leg extends up. We'll come right to warrior one. Planting that foot down, rising up, Virabhadrasana 1. Bringing the hands behind the back. We're going to do something a little different here. Pulling the shoulders down and back, opening up the chest. A little bit of a heart opener here. And then coming into humble warrior. So the arms reach overhead, bowing down towards the earth, giving your shoulders a stretch. And lifting yourself back up. Transition to warrior two, keeping these hands right where they are. Coming into side angle bend here, which is going to work your core a bit more. See if you can lean into this. Think about pulling that shoulder back. This helps you find that position. Good. Pressing yourself back up, reversing the warrior. Left hand behind the back. Reach that right arm overhead. Good. Back to our side angle bend. So options. Arm can come here across the thigh. You could come down to a block on the floor, or you can come all the way to the floor. If you want to work into bird of paradise, I will show you that, but you've got to start with a bind. So the right arm reaches in between the legs, and you reach for your left hand. If you can't reach it, a towel can help you, a strap can help you to kind of connect them. Keep everybody pressing that right knee back, and keep opening the chest towards the sky. So we're rolling our left shoulder back, opening up. Okay, so what's going to happen now is we're going to step forward, all of us, bring the left foot up to the front of the mat, and then you can choose tree pose. I'm just going to walk center my mat so you can see. You can choose tree pose, left foot comes to the mat, right foot comes to the ankle or the calf, or those of you doing bird of paradise, you're rising up on the left foot, keeping that bind. You can stay right here, or you can work to extend the leg. And if you're in bird of paradise, release it down. If you're in tree, release it down. Everybody unwind and come into chair, sinking down, Utkatasana. Chest is lifting, shoulders rolling down away from the ears, knees over ankles. Deep breath in. I want you to come to that same foot. So whatever foot you were balancing on, I believe everyone would have been on their left foot. Shift your weight to the left foot. We're going to come to eagle pose. So your right foot's going to wrap around that left foot. And then bringing your arms up, if you want to do eagle arms too, left arm crosses over right. You can come to shoulders. You can come back to back, or you can come palm to palm. Sinking nice and low, pushing the hips back. Option to stay here, keeping the elbows lifted, hands pressing away from the body. That's opening up your back body. If you want, you can sink low and you can nest your eagle. Releasing all the way down here. Staying balanced. Eagle in honor of the United States. And if you sunk down, lift yourself back up. We're going to unwrap this and come to another warrior three. So unwrap that right leg, push it back behind you, hinging forward. Release your eagle arms and either just shoot them straight back behind you or find a reverse prayer. Pushing that right leg away, balancing here for a moment, and then simply stepping the right foot to the mat. So left foot forward, right foot back, arms are either by your side or reverse prayer. If they're by your side, go ahead and maybe bring them to your hips. And then we're going to find pyramid, hinging, hinging, hinging forward. Pulling the right hip forward, pushing the left hip back, so you're more or less even. And then releasing the arms, releasing the body, and just hang over that leg. Giving yourself a stretch, Trying to press both heels to the mat, lengthening the hamstrings. And then step the back foot forward, forward fold, rising up into chair. Hands at heart center. Sitting back in the heels. Inhale, stretching all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands find the mat. Hopping or stepping the left foot back, followed by right. Exhale, chaturanga. Rising up to your cobra or up dog. Exhale, pressing back, finding down dog. Shoulders rolling away from the ears. Heels pressing into the mat. Left leg extends up, hinges forward, plants down, right into our warrior one. Rising up, pulling the right hip forward. Taking a deep breath here. Deep bend in the knee. Transitioning, bring the hands behind the back, humble warrior first. Pulling those hands down, opening up the chest, slightly tilting your gaze towards the top of towards the ceiling. So this is a chest opener. When we go into our eagle, it sort of opens our back body, so they work well together. And then we're going to forward fold, letting the arms stretch overhead, humble warrior. Deep inhale and exhale. Keeping the hands where they are, rising back up, just opening the body into that warrior two position, but hands are still behind the back, pulling down and away, so we're continuing to open our shoulders and our chest, and then hinging here into our side angle bend. Think about pulling the right shoulder back. You're using your abs, you're using your core here. And bring yourself back up, reversing the warrior, right hand behind the back, left hand lifts up and over, breathing into the side body. And coming to our side angle bend, so same options. You may actually even be able to see me better from this angle. So arm can be on the thigh. You can find the floor, remembering you're still keeping that chest open. And if anybody wants, you work on that bind. So the left hand reaches in between. And here's where I'm talking about. You could grab a towel or a belt to connect your hands. But again, careful that you're not like rounding all the way over here. Really, really, really see if you can stay open. Very much still a chest opener. All right, everybody's going to hop that right foot forward. Whoop. And then balance on the right foot. And then your left foot either comes to Virasana or we lift up. And if you want, you can extend that left leg into your bird of paradise. Trying to stand tall. Good, and release that down. Inhale, stretching up. Exhale, coming to chair. Sinking back. Belly button pulling in, spine long. Coming to eagle on this side. So same leg we just balanced on. Left leg crosses over right. Right arm crosses over left. Elbows lift up. Palms push away. Again, if this is too much on the shoulders, you simply give yourself a hug. Hands can come back to back, or hands can come front to front. And then if you want, you can nest. You can sit your eagle down in its nest. And if you want, you can kind of hinge forward. It's almost like another humble warrior sort of move as we bow down. If you were nesting your eagle, go ahead and rise it back up. Unwrap that leg, transitioning to your warrior three variation. So we're pushing that left heel away. Once we're stable, undo your arms and either shoot them straight back behind you or find that reverse prayer. Pressing through the back heel. And then step that back foot down. Good. Pull both hips forward, hands to hips, or if you're in reverse prayer, you stay in reverse prayer. And we're going to hinge forward, coming into pyramid. Again, trying to square the hips, so pull the right hip back, pull the left hip forward, and forward fold all the way over that leg, giving yourself a hamstring stretch. Stepping the left foot forward to meet it. Go ahead and hang there and forward fold for a moment, just letting yourself go. You can maybe bend the knees, releasing the spine. And then on your inhale, bring yourself all the way up. Stretch those arms overhead, a little bit of a back bend. And then settle yourself down into chair. Bring your hands to heart center. So sink as low as you can go, and we're going to twist. So I'm going to twist towards you. Bringing, well, you can do either side. Bringing the elbow to the thigh, hands stay at heart center. If you're really low in your hips and your elbow can come and lock against your thigh, that's fine. But careful that you're not kind of looking like this. You really want to be twisting the spine, turning your chest towards that side. Notice what your knees are doing. Probably your opposite knee has shifted forward. See if you can keep it parallel. Good. Release that back to center. Extend the arms. Option to come back up on tiptoes. Sink low, low, low. Lower back under the heels. Bring the hands back to heart center. Turning to the opposite side. Again, the elbow can lock. The other thing that tends to happen is hands go to the armpit. See if you can invite them to heart center. And see if you can invite your knees to stay even. That will help keep your hips even. Taking a breath. And coming back to center, and forward fold. Bring your hands to the mat, stepping one foot back, followed by the other, coming to plank. All right, in honor of our military, we're gonna do some push-ups. So you can do them from knees or from toes, but we're gonna do them in a series. We're not gonna do them in a row. So push up to your down dog. Arms reaching out in front of you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come to plank. We're gonna do one push-up. And then we're going to come back to downward facing dog. Push-ups can be from knees or from toes, and they can be with your elbows out or by your side. Elbows out works your chest more, by your side works your triceps more, but they both work your triceps, they both work your shoulders. Okay, so come out to your plank, belly button in, dropping to knees as you like, lowering down, one push-up, exhale, press back, and come back to down dog. Inhale, coming out to plank. Exhale, down and up and press back to down dog. 3 more, coming back to plank, dropping to knees as you need. Press down. The exhale up actually helps. And push back. 2 more, out to plank, dropping to knees, 1 push-up and press back. Last one, plank, push-up, down dog. Walk your feet towards the top of your mat, coming to a deep squat. Yogi squat. So, bringing the elbows against the thighs, lifting up through the chest. If your heels are not on the floor, that is very common, you can stick something under them, like a blanket. Probably not a block, that's probably a bit too high. If you're just up on your toes, that's okay. Just work to sort of push them and drive them down. It can just be more comfortable if you have a rolled up blanket under you. Try to avoid slouching forward on this. See if you can lift yourself up, 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 up. Take a breath. A moment of pause. Hopefully this feels good. You can sit on a block is the other thing. If sinking this low is problematic for any part of your body, you can sit on a block or more than 1 block. Totally, totally fine. I'm going to try to do crow and show you guys Bakasana, another challenge option. I told you I had lots of challenge postures in today's practice. And the only reason I say try is because I'm really sweaty, so I'll see if we slip. So, Bakasana, crow. It's a balance posture and a shoulder balance. So the hands come to the mat, we lift our butts, our hips up in the air. What I encourage you to do is just bring your knees to your triceps and come out over your hands and just feel that. If you've never done crow before, just feel what that feels like. Start to take the weight. If you have any wrist issues, I don't advise that you do this. If you want, you can see if you can lift 1 foot up, see how that feels. You can see if you can lift the other foot up. Sometimes people like to take a block here, just in case you tilt forward. But, I mean, people catch yourselves. Nobody lands on their head, but the block just makes you feel like you have less distance to fall. And then if you want, both feet can come up, toes come together, and we balance. Holding for a couple of breaths. Wherever wherever you are, just staying in squat is fine too. And then release that down, stepping back to your plank, lowering all the way down to the mat. Bringing the hands behind the back as we've done a few times, clasping them together, lifting up, pulling the shoulders up and back. Keeping the feet on the mat, contracting the gluteal muscles. Hands come to the mat, push yourself up. Step the right foot far forward, or whichever foot, so you end up facing me. You're going to face the long end of your mat. Or however you want to be so you can face me. So toes are parallel, and you just let your head hang over. Let the arms go, let them shake. Walk them out in front of you. So you're giving yourself a spinal stretch. Kind of similar to what we did before. Take a breath into this. So you're sitting way back in your heels, really pushing your hips back. Feeling that stretch. And walk yourself back. Point your toes out, pivot your knees in, and press yourself up and rise up into, speaking of warriors, into goddess pose. So knees pressing back, 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 or in my case I have to really press back because mine love to flop in. So I have to really push them away. Sink as low as you can go without tracking over toes. You should be feeling your glutes firing and your thighs firing. You don't want to be feeling pain in your knees. Make sure you can wiggle toes. Make sure you still feel happy and smiling. Bring those arms up. True goddess, cactus pose. Taking a breath. Can you sink a little lower? Can you rise up on one ball of one foot? Give me a couple pulses. 3, 2, 1. Lower that down, lifting up on the other. And pulse 3, 2, 1. We've been working a lot in these quadriceps and glutes today. Those really big muscles support the spine. That's that confidence building I was talking about. Helps you stand tall, all the chest openings so we're not rolling our shoulders down and back. Press yourself all the way up. One more time, bring the hands behind the back. Point the toes forward, pull the hands back, opening the chest, and once again decapitated. And forward fold, letting those arms drop overhead. Good, release them down, and then let's just do some little lunges. Turn those toes back out again if you want. And just lunge back and forth, just to shake out those thighs. And then pivot back to the front end of your mat. Step that foot back, drop down to knees. Curl those toes under, and once again, stretch into a puppy pose. Let the head reach to the earth. Good, bringing yourself back up, spin the legs around, coming to a sit. Legs extended out in front of you. Taking a breath. That's all the hard stuff done. Promise. Yeah, I had to think. I wanted to make sure there's nothing else I wanted to throw in there. Take an inhale up. Exhale, hinge forward a little ways and stop. Hinge forward a little bit more and stop. Hinge forward a little bit more so you're actually reaching in front of you. You're pulling your belly button in, you're pulling your shoulders back, and you're lengthening, lengthening, lengthening that spine. It should be more or less a flat back. So even if you're here, that's fine. And now go ahead and release that all the way over. Letting the head drop. Still trying to really hinge forward, so you're still pulling your abdomen towards your thigh rather than your head or your nose towards your knee. Take a deep breath. And roll that all the way up. Cross the, or just pull the right knee into the body. Sitting up tall. So it's just right there with a little bit of a gap between your thigh and your leg. Sit up tall and twist towards that leg, giving it a hug. Take the other hand behind your back. Pulling that right shoulder back and away. Actively flex the left foot so that you're really stretching through that left leg. Careful you're not leaning back into this. Stay tall. And release that back to center. Extend the right leg. Pull the left leg in. Sit up nice and tall. And then hug that knee. Turn yourself to the other side, pulling the left shoulder back. Finding the mat. Again, actively flexing the right foot. Take a deep breath. Good, release that forward. Bending the knees, holding onto the backs of your thighs to lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Hug the knees into the chest for a moment, giving yourself a rock from side to side. Bring those knees out, so knees are over hips, palms are on the mat. Pull the belly button towards the spine, tilt the chin towards the chest. Another military theme, we're going to march. So you're going to tap one foot down and back up, and the other foot down and back up. Don't let your back lose contact with the mat. So this is abdominal work here. So you're really contracting the abdomen, pulling the navel towards the spine. The further out from your body the legs are, the harder this will be. The closer in, the slightly easier. So you want to find a challenging point and that you're not arching your back. Keep going. Let's do 3 more each side. This is normally a more ab focused class, but just sticking a few things here at the end. And pause with the marching. Extend the legs up. We're going to do some leg circles, so shoulders down and away, pressing into the mat, palms pressing into the mat, squeezing our legs together. They're working as one unit. And we're going to swoop them down, around, up, and stop. Down, around, up, and stop. So you can make these circles as big or small as you want, reversing direction each time. So you go one direction and then the other direction. Again, we don't want the back to arch. The legs aren't going to go like super close to the floor because that would puff up our belly and our ribs and arch our back. And we don't want that. Do one more each direction. Pausing. And we're going to do some lifts. So we're not going to go all the way overhead like we would do in a roll over in Pilates. We're just going to lift our glutes and with control lower back down. The down is the hard part. Try not to flop down. It might happen, but just that's what we're trying to avoid. So you're lifting straight up and lowering down. Keeping the legs as close to vertical as possible. They're not really going over your head here. We're just lifting up and lowering. Lifting up and lowering. And 3. And 2. The last one. Lower down. Good. Keep those legs lifted. Scissor them away slowly. One leg towards you, one leg away. Pause. Hold, 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 hold. Back to center. And they switch. Again, without arching the back. Hold, 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 hold. Back to center. And they switch. Pull. I am like pulling my abs in to make that back stay flat on the floor. And I'm shaking. Back in. And switch. Back in. Switch. This time, grab hold of your thigh or your calf and lift your body off the mat and give yourself a stretch here. So this is like we're frozen in a single leg stretch in Pilates. So you're pulling that right leg towards you, point, or left leg, sorry, point and flex your feet. Actually, it could be either leg. Extending the opposite one. And then release, come back to center. Switch, opposite leg comes in, grab hold of that thigh or calf, again, not your knee. Lift yourself up, point and flex that foot. Push the other leg away. Good, and come back up. Bending the knees again, coming to tabletop for some active twists. So bring those hands back to that cactus position, or they can extend out. The knees are going to squeeze together. They're going to drop to one side, back up to center, and to the other. They may or may not touch the floor. I tend to not bring mine all the way to the floor. Pulling the belly in. You're trying to use your abs here to lift yourself up and over, not your back. If you'd like, you can add a kick here. So as you twist to the side, you extend the legs, pull them back, come back to center. Twist. You can also just extend the top leg if extending both is too much, or you can extend neither. And twist, extend. This time, if you're on your first side, whenever you get back to your first side, go ahead and just drop those knees down. Turn your head, looking over the opposite shoulder. Breathing into the twist. Pull those legs back up through center to the other side, turning, looking over that shoulder. Breathing with the twist on the side. And coming back to center. Reaching the hands in between the legs, grabbing hold of the feet, coming to happy baby. So trying to push your low back into the mat and your hips, like your pelvic bone, and pulling your knees and your feet towards your face. So you're getting a stretch of the inner thighs. You're actually getting a stretch of the back. And you can rock this from side to side if you would like. Giving it a rock. Good, bring the soles of the feet together, lower the feet down onto the mat. So you're in a butterfly position, knees are dropping open. Bring your hands up to cactus, or you can open them. And take a few deep breaths here. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. 2 more times. Inhale. Open the mouth and let it go. Last time, inhale. And let it go. Extend your legs below you, extend your arms up overhead. Give yourself a deep stretch, pressing your heels away, reaching your hands away. And then bring your arms down by your mats, by your sides, separate your feet, letting your feet drift out. And bring your attention to your breath, taking some inhales and some exhales. Inhale, breathing all the way down into your toes, into your feet. Exhaling, releasing any stress and tension that you're holding in your arches of your feet, in your ankles. Letting go of your calves, letting go of your knees. Letting go of your thighs and your hips. Feeling your legs sink heavily into the mat. Inhaling energy and relaxation all the way down to your fingertips. Exhaling as you release your hands and your palms. If your palms are facing up, sometimes your fingers curl inwards. Letting go of your wrists, your elbows, your triceps, your biceps. Feeling the shoulders melt heavily into the mat. As you inhale, breathe up into your neck, your jaw, your face, the top of your head. As you exhale, letting go, releasing any stress and tension that you're holding there, feeling your head grow heavy. And do a scan of your entire body, noticing any areas where you're still holding tension, maybe nowhere. Breathing into any areas that need healing, that need attention, that need focus. Exhaling, letting go of any stress, any tension in those areas. Letting go of any thoughts that are no longer serving you. And just giving yourself over to a couple of moments of stillness, of quiet, maybe just music. And the sound of your breath. And to begin to bring your awareness back. Begin deepening your breath again. Reawakening the muscles at your fingers and toes. Allow them to start to wiggle and to move. Allow your wrists and your ankles to begin to roll. Maybe roll your head from side to side. Drawing your knees to your chest, give yourself a hug and a rock. And then roll yourself over into the fetal position. Pausing there. You can extend your right arm and rest your head on your right arm or your left if you roll to your left. And then pause for a moment there and just think about your body for a moment. Think of how you feel. Noticing how you felt at the beginning of practice or began in child's pose. And as I said, I sort of think of this as rising from your child's pose into all those standing postures, those confidence building, those very grown-up postures. And then coming back to this fetal position, this moment of rebirth, continuing with your day, with your week, with everything. But hopefully with a fresh perspective. Hopefully a bit more relaxed, hopefully feeling even better than you did an hour ago. And then press yourself up, finding a seated position. You can cross your legs or sit on your knees or however is comfortable. Closing your eyes again once you're situated. We'll finish with 3 energizing breaths with movement. So bring your hands to heart center, palm to palm, thumbs in your solar plexus. As you inhale, extend your arms out, drawing them up overhead as if you're gathering energy, pressing that energy together into a ball overhead, pressing your palms together. And then exhale through your mouth as you bring your hands back to heart center, as if you're delivering that energy to your heart. And again, inhale. Last time, inhale. And this time just leaving your hands where they are. Inhale. Om Shanti Om. I wish you all peace and joy and love and blessings.